Welcome to my channel, Notes Explained, and here is the fourth part of the chapter Money and Banking for Class 10 SEBA Board. Let's do a quick revision of what we have done in the third part. We have done the role of money, its drawbacks, what is a bank, origin of banks, classification and functions of banks. Since there are many types of banks, we have done only two in the third part, that is a central bank and the commercial banks. The third classification is Industrial Development Bank of India, that is IDBI, which was set up in 1964 and it has a few primary functions. Number one, it offers direct financial assistance to various industries. Since the name of the bank is Industrial Development Bank of India, so it is clearly understood that it gives financial assistance or it helps the industries for its further development. Number B, it offers loans to institutions like State Financial Corporation, Industrial Development Corporation, commercial banks, etc. for industrial development. So, this type of bank, it offers loans to these types of institutions so that the industries can go to these institutions and can get help or loans for their development, for industrial development. The third is it offers concessional rate of interest or low interest in the backward regions. So, in the backward regions, this type of bank it offers concessional rate or low type of interest so that the people can borrow more money and they can return back the loan or money taken from the bank by giving low interest. This bank also takes initiatives in creating entrepreneurship through various training programs. So, this bank not only offers financial assistance, but it also gives training programs to the people who wants to create their own business. So, creating business, it is also called as creating entrepreneurship. So, it takes the initiative in helping the people by giving various training programs. Number four is Regional Rural Bank, also known as RRB. It was set up in 1975. It has two main functions. Number one, it provides loans at low rate of interest. Okay, now see the name of the bank is Regional Rural Bank. The meaning of rural is village areas. So, since it is a bank for the rural areas, so it has to provide loans at low rate of interest so that the villagers, whenever they need financial help, they can go to the bank directly and borrow loans and they can even return back the money by giving low rate of interest. It not only provides loans, but it also mobilizes the rural savings and invests these in various productive activities. Which means this bank not only supports the people or the villagers to deposit their money in the bank, but it also supports or motivates the people to invest their money in various productive activities where the villagers can invest their money and on the other hand they will be benefited or they will reach a development level where their income level will be increased. So in 2014, there were 57 RRBs in India. But by now, 2020, maybe it has increased a lot. Number five is National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development. Its short form is NABARD. It was established in 1982. Earlier, RBI, that is Reserve Bank of India, or the central bank performed its functions in the field of rural areas. This was later transferred to NABARD. That means long time back the functions of NABARD was performed or was done by the RBI or Reserve Bank of India. But now these functions had been transferred to this bank, that is NABARD. Now let's see the functions of NABARD. NABARD is the apex financial institution among all others related to the investment in the rural areas. So we can say that in the rural areas, NABARD is such an institution or such a financial institution where it looks only after the matters related to the rural areas. It streamlines or makes the process easier for loans, monitors, and even evaluates the rural schemes and organizes training programs for the beneficiaries. So this bank, it makes the process easier for taking loans for all the villages. It also monitors and checks, or it evaluates the rural schemes, and then it passes down to the villages. And not only that, it also organizes training programs for all those people who had attained or who will be going to attain the benefits of all the rural schemes. It coordinates the various schemes for rural development initiated by the central government, the state government, the Reserve Bank of India, etc. Remember that all the schemes that are passed down for the rural development, they are initiated by the central government. Then only the central government or the Reserve Bank of India, it passes down to all the states. After that, the state further divides the areas and it further passes to all the regions of the states. In this way, it also reaches the rural areas and the schemes are coordinated well and monitored well and also evaluated by this type of bank. Number 6 classification is Small Industries Development Bank of India, also called as SIDBI. The bill to set up this bank was formed in 1989. It finally started operating in 1990. So remember, a bill was passed in order to make this bank in the year 1989. And after 1 year, that is in 1990, this bank was finally formed and it started operating. Its headquarters is in Lucknow. The functions of SIDBI are to promote modernization and application of improved technology in small industries, which means the bank will help in promoting or in supporting the small scale industries in order to use modern methods or improve technology to reach or for their further development. Number 2, to create markets for the products of the small industries. It supports the small scale industries to make or to create such things which has much demand in the market. So in this way it creates a market for the products that are made by the small scale industries. Number 3, to create more employment opportunities in small scale industries in semi urban areas and check the migration of population from rural to urban areas. So it creates employment opportunities for the unemployed people, and it also keeps a track of all the population who migrate from the rural to urban areas, or we can also say from the village to town areas. Number 4, it offers financial assistance to institutions like state financial corporation, industrial corporation, commercial banks, cooperative banks, and regional banks for small scale industrial development. So this bank, it offers financial assistance to all these types of institutions so that the people or the owner of the small scale industries can go to these institutions and borrow money in the medium of loans and they can go for further development. Non-banking financial institutions, also known as NBFIs. The similarity between banking and non-banking financial institutions are: non-banking financial institutions collect the savings from depositors like the banks do. So this point is clear. I hope that non-banking financial institutions, they also collect the savings from the public like we do. We go to the banks and we deposit the amount. So also the non-banking financial institutions also does the same work. Number 2, it advances these savings as loans to the borrowers. Like the banks, they keep an amount with them and the rest are given as loans. So also the non-banking financial institutions also save an amount with them and the rest are given as loans. Now let's see the differences. Number 1, non-banking financial institutions cannot withdraw money through checks, while the banks can do that. Like we public can go to the bank and withdraw money anytime with the help of checks, but in the non-banking financial institutions, we cannot withdraw our money through checks. Number 2, the former does not provide any deposit insurance scheme to cover the risk of depositors, while the latter has a scheme. In all other banks, there is a scheme called Deposit Insurance Scheme, where if anything happens to the depositor's money, the bank is going to take the risk. But in the non banking financial institutions, there is no such scheme where they give insurance to the depositors. NBFIs should be registered with the Reserve Bank of India. Some institutions which are not registered with RBI may cheat the depositors and suddenly vanish, leaving no trace of their existence. So remember that all the non banking financial institutions should be registered with the Reserve Bank of India. There are some institutions which are not registered by the Reserve Bank of India, and in the name of non banking financial institutions, many depositors go and deposit their money. And on the other hand, these institutions they may suddenly vanish by leaving no trace of their existence and taking all the depositors' money by cheating. So, it should be remembered or kept in mind that all the non banking financial institutions should be registered with the Reserve Bank of India. So, here comes the end of a very long chapter which has been taught in 4 different parts. Do watch all the 4 parts to get your doubts clear. And if you think that my hard work is really valued, do like, comment, share, and also subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon which is present near so that you get the updates regularly.